The so-called missing links to evolution that fooled the dumb scientist. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto myths. 2 Timothy 4:4. BBC Science correspondent Jonathan Amos reported, "It was a shocker, no doubt about it. The Piltdown Man scandal is arguably the greatest scientific fraud ever perpetrated in the UK." Mail Online reported, "Unmasked, the truth behind Piltdown Man fraud to be revealed 100 years after it fooled the world." Who was responsible for this fraud? Well, this person responsible for this hoax, fraud, most certainly worked hard to con the greatest experts, including most of the world, who would rather believe in lies than in God. And just as interesting is the person and his name who went out of his way to fool the world. His name was Charles Dawson, a Sussex lawyer. We have this man Charles Dawson, who falsely changed the modern ape's jaw and human skull, and filed down the teeth from a Tunisian elephant to resemble an ape man.
Welcome to the team. Good morning, everybody. Have it on my desk today. Glad to have you on board. You've got a deal. Inspiration. Recognition. I need it now. We are #1. Great job. Sign on the dotted line. Good night, everybody.
And we have Charles Darwin with his mad imagination, who worked all his life with his crazy theories to prove to the world that humans are animals and our original parents were apes. It is said Charles Darwin was a liar when he was a schoolboy. He liked inventing gratuitous fibs to his schoolmates and boasted that he could change the color of flowers by watering them with certain colored fluids. He admitted to acting cruelly by beating up his puppy. Later in his life, things did not get better. He had an absolute passion for shooting birds. It is also said that Darwin himself picked up his hammer and began killing beautiful birds. Reference the Darwin Papers. As Darwin grew up, it seems he got worse by his crazy theories that still remain to this day, still deceiving scientists and most of the world, that his crazy theory is still what it is, a mad, crazy theory. Darwin's only degree was in theology. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." Psalm 14. Every so often, there are literally countless amounts of so-called sensational claims that hit the news outlets with deceiving reports of someone somewhere who is claiming to be the atheist hero, who has finally found the missing link, the half-man and half-ape. Atheists have gone to the extreme to fool the world into thinking we are animals, from gluing human skulls to chimpanzee jaws after painting them, to painting pig's teeth so they look old and then gluing it to a human skull, to gluing two fossils together in order to make us believe birds came from dinosaurs, or for some, simply discovering the missing link is just a good way of conning money out of people and of their own faith, from sad atheists who then discover the missing link was 100% animal or 100% human, or even worse, the missing link did not even exist. The top 13 missing links that never existed. Here are just some of many of the missing link hoaxes. Ida, 1983 discovered. The so-called missing link, Ida is a 47 million year old perfectly preserved primate recovered from the Messel pit in Germany. Then it was revealed why Ida fossil is not the missing link. Java Man, 1891 discovered. The so-called missing link, Java Man. It was in fact another composite fraud like Piltdown or like Archaeoraptor hoax. Tong Child, 1924 discovered. The so-called missing link, Tong Child, initially depicted as a supposed ancestor of man. However, contemporary evolutionists can no longer maintain that it represents such an ancestor because it subsequently transpired that the skull belonged to a young gorilla. Peking Man, 1923-27 discovered. The so-called missing link, Peking Man. There is no good evidence that these skeletons ever existed. Mrs. Play's fossil, 18 April 1947, discovered. The so-called missing link, Mrs. Play's, which are considered to be the distant relatives of all humankind. This fake was actually constructed from a human skull. Sivapithecus, 19th century, discovered. The so-called missing link, Sivapithecus is a genus of extinct primates, may have been the ancestor to the modern orangutans, uncovered as a famous hoax. Lucy, November 30th, 1974, discovered. The so-called missing link, Lucy. Lucy fails test as missing link. Atheist Missouri lecture misrepresented the evidence to con atheists to make money from this hoax. Neanderthal Man, 1856, discovered. The so-called missing link, Neanderthal Man, revealed it was a primitive ape man. Professor at a university in Frankfurt had been systematically lying about the ages of skulls he found. Ardipithecus, 1994, discovered. The so-called missing link, believed to be the intermediate between the last common ancestor of chimps and humans and the Australopithecines. Ardipithecus ramidus, Ardi, just another evolutionist hominid hoax. Homo erectus, 1891, discovered. The so-called missing link, believed to be the ancestral to modern humans and Neanderthals. The evolution hoax. Archaic Homo sapiens, discovered. The so-called missing link, believed to be ancestral to modern humans. The secret history of Homo sapiens hoax. Homo habilis, between 1962 and 1964, discovered. The so-called missing link, believed to be the perfect intermediate between early hominids and later humans, possibly ancestral to modern humans. The fossils have been discovered, which were named Zingothropus and Homo habilis, said to be main proofs of evolution, until it was proven to be a hoax. Proconsul primate, 1909, discovered. The so-called missing link. This is believed to be universally accepted to be intermediate between ape-like monkeys, such as Agitopithecus, and later apes, including hominids. Hadrianic proconsuls of Africa, much of the time bound about them, should be natural candidates for writing historical hoaxes. Evolution is biologically impossible. Mathematical improbabilities of evolution occurring, 2 plus 3 equals 0. Impossible. Every one of the so-called sensational claims, the missing links, have been proven to be a lying, deceiving fraud and hoax. This then raises an important question. No missing link means there is absolutely no evidence of us humans coming from apes. If this is the case, as it clearly is, then how did us humans get here? Where did we come from? The Bible gives us the simple answer. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Genesis 1:26. Why do so many put their trust in the mortal man? If we would only believe what the Bible tells us, do not put your trust in princes, in mortal men who cannot save. Psalms 146:3. Dear friends, let us believe what the Bible states, as our future depends on it. He who has ears, let him hear. Matthew 11:15. It is better to trust the Lord than to put confidence in man. Psalms 118:8. Blessed is that man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Psalms 44. Stop trusting in man, who has but a breath in his nostrils. Of what account is he? Isaiah 2:22. This is what the Lord says. Cursed are those who put their trust in mere humans, who rely on human strength and turn their hearts away from the Lord. Jeremiah 17:5. Let us all seek the Lord while he may be found. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Matthew 24:14.